Hello everybody, welcome back to Throttle Grotto. It's been a while, and I'll explain why. Stay tuned. Alright friends, I haven't made a video in a while, and yeah, I'm a little embarrassed about it, just that I haven't been putting in the effort to make videos lately. There's been a lot going on here. Where do I start? I guess I'll start with, first of all, I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I haven't seen the return on investment that I'd really hoped to see out of doing YouTube. You can't really predict how things are going to go, and let's be honest, the stuff that I do isn't quite mainstream. You know, Rabbits, 928s, Datsuns, Rallycross. All the things that I've done over the years haven't been destroying things or supercars or the things that just make a lot of money on YouTube. So I'm a little discouraged on this channel. I'm not entirely giving up, but I'm taking some time away from it. And yeah, there's some things going on in my personal life that are stressing me out. One of those things is my day job. I don't talk a lot about my day job because I don't really need you guys to know what I do for a living. But short answer, I'm in the military. That's my full-time job. That's what pays my bills. And my schedule is changing at work, possibly twice this year, and I'm going from a predictable schedule to a little less predictable and user-friendly schedule, and possibly to a completely different, much less user-friendly schedule later in the year. So that's been bumming me out. And then just some other stuff personally that I've been dealing with that I just have been really stressed out about. And I won't really go into it, but I will say that being a single dude over 50 in the Northwest is not a great place to be. So I'll just leave it at that, because that's yeah, not really an easy place to meet people and do that whole trying to not be single thing. So but I have been working in the garage some. I've been getting some stuff done here. So let's take a walk around the shop. I can show you guys some of the things that I've been doing in here, and give you guys a little tour of the things that have been going, I guess, well in the shop, and kind of get you up to speed on some of the stuff that I've been working on. All right, so one of the things that I've got going on here is the Rabbit is ready for an actual test drive, but the weather's been crap. So, but I've got the ECU back in. So I need to give a shout out to Tunezilla and Malone Tuning. I haven't put the decals on the car yet, but they're the ones that have been helping me out with the ECU. And yes, we did have some delays, but the quick checks I've done here in the garage, it seems to be working pretty well. So I'm going to get to take this thing for a drive here once I get a nice day out and it's dry. So one of the other things that I finally got done is I finally have 2 seats in the car. And this took way longer than I expected it to, but man, the Gulf stuff looks so good in this car, and that was my goal, was to make it look really nice in here, at least nicer than it did. So I've been working on that. I have some extra material here left over that I am trying to... These are the door panels that I bought from the Slow VW Works guy a while back. And I had them originally done with the Mark V GTI fabric way back when I had the Mark V GTI seats in here. So I need to find someone that can sew so I can take this off and use the Gulf fabric to make the door panels look nice, to match the seats. One of the other things I've been working on is the gauges. So I got my Speed Hut gauges in. I've actually got them mounted into the gauge cluster. Some people will just take the plastic off and use the factory rabbit plastic. I decided to do it a little bit different because I wanted to use the Speed Hut gauge bezel. So I trimmed all this out, got a piece of stainless and some spacers, and made this so that it holds the gauges tight against the, I don't know what you call this thing, back of the back of where the gauges used to mount. And I've been working on getting all those wired up. So that's a process, but hopefully they'll all be wired up soon. Yes, the 928 clutch is back out of the car. The company that relined the clutch discs made them too thick, so the clutch wouldn't release. I had to pull that whole thing back out of the car, send the clutch discs off, and now I'm waiting on clutch discs. And you'll see there's an oil pan underneath the car. Why is there an oil pan underneath the car? Because the really fancy silicone pan gasket that I got leaked within the first 5 minutes of me putting it in. So, yeah, it had to take the pan out, swap the pan, but the 928 is running. Just there's no oil in it right now, and I don't have a clutch, so I can't start it. So, Spring Meet, which is where I want to debut the Rabbit. For those of you that don't know, that aren't local, Spring Meet was a show way back in like late 90s, 2000s here in the Northwest, and there's a local promoter that's bringing it back. So I want to at least take the car to Spring Meet. It's not going to be perfect. There's still going to be a lot of things visually wrong with the car. But one of my goals before the show is to paint the doors. So I bought one of these things, this Bauer contour surface conditioning tool. Like the Eastwood one, but it was a little bit less expensive, and I didn't have to pay shipping. So I'm going to give that a try on the doors here. When I get done taking time off from working in the garage, I'm going to pull the doors off. They come off super easy. There's just a couple of Allen head bolts in there that hold the doors on. I'm going to pull these off, strip everything out, and paint them so that at least they match the rest of the car. And I still need to mount the Kamae rear spoiler, but I need to come up with some clips. For those of you that haven't seen one of these, the clips mount in these little holes here. Oh, yeah, so there's 4 holes that the clips mount into, and then they kind of notch in underneath the rear window seal to kind of help hold it in place. I will also use a bunch of double stick tape on here just to make sure that that thing doesn't go flying off down the freeway somewhere. And for those of you who haven't seen the Datsun for a while, still waiting on the cylinder head for the Datsun, so it's just hanging out, waiting for parts. So that's kind of a quick wrap on what's been going on here in the garage. But I do want to take a few minutes and say to those of you that have supported the channel to this point, with your likes and comments, and sharing the video amongst your friends and coworkers and Facebook friends and Instagram friends, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate the support that I have gotten from the fans and people that watch this video and my friends. that does mean a lot. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm unappreciative of you supporting the channel, and and I don't want you to think that I'm giving up entirely, but I've just got to come up with a better way to do things, and hopefully make things grow in a much better trajectory than they have up to this point. So hopefully after a few weeks of not being in the garage and not working on stuff, be back and be stronger than ever. So if you got people that are close to you, give them a hug, give them a phone call, check in and see how they're doing, all that stuff. Just be good humans. And until next time, get out there and work on something.